So, releasing incomplete games is nothing new to the gaming industry. It kind of feels like it's been the norm for a while now. Games releasing with, day one DLC or day one season passes, and just games not feeling too complete, taking like what, 4 to 8 hours to beat the single player content. Games heavily relying on multiplayer for longevity. So, yeah, incomplete games is nothing new to the industry, but I want to take a moment to sit down and focus on a couple of games here that have, really caught a lot of flack for releasing without all the full content. Last year, Splatoon came out, and it launched with a lot of missing content that later on came out as free DLC very slowly, in the span of over the span of a few months. There was a lot of maps and weapons missing and all that, and everyone knew that all this content was missing, and there was kind of like a movement to not get Splatoon until one that content was added, and there was also some modes that were missing, like you couldn't play private matches with friends. You had to just play random matches the entire time, and I don't think they had ranked matches at the get go either. So there were some missing modes and some missing, like I said, stages and weapons. And people did not want to get that game at launch. They wanted to wait till all the content came out, even though that the content was free. Everyone knew it was on the way, and it kind of I don't know. It kind of made me question game releases. Like, so a lot of other games would have released that as paid DLC, and I got to thinking to myself, this is free content that's guaranteed to come out later on. Is this something I should support? Is this a game I should get at launch, or be like some of these other people wait for all the content to come out? I ended up getting the game at launch. I got my wisdom teeth removed, I think, the day before the game came out, so I ended up getting the game and just playing it all weekend. It kind of took my mind off the pain, but it was it was a fun game. I had fun with it despite the missing content, and when it was slowly released out over the next couple months, it was something to look forward to. Kept me going back to the game, and overall, it was still an enjoyable experience. I didn't pay any more for all that content, so here we are, fast forward to Street Fighter V, and it's having a similar situation, nowhere near as severe as Splatoon. Like, as everyone knows, Street Fighter V doesn't have an arcade mode, it doesn't have an option to fight a CPU opponent outside of training mode and survival mode. And even then, those CPUs are like really, really sad, like pathetic. They just kind of like stand there and take your hits and combos. They don't really do much of anything. The story mode is very, very, very pathetic to say the least. I feel like the fights are only about 2 to 3 fights per character, and Fong, I'm going to call him out specifically, he fought Bison twice, and that's just dumb, I feel. And like I said, the CPU opponents in story mode are practically non-existent. They basically just stand there and take all the hits. So you run through it like very quickly, and the little art style that the story mode has is just like that's cutscenes told through pictures, but the pictures feel like they were done by a middle school student, not like a good middle school student, but like a very average middle school student. So when we get down to it, this game really launched with only two modes, with training mode and with local multiplayer, online multiplayer. I guess that's three modes, whatever. So only two out of those three things really worked at launch. The online multiplayer definitely had some problems and hiccups and metric butt ton of issues when the game launched. It's a little better now. I haven't played today. I think there's server maintenance going on, so hopefully that improves even more. But still, every now and then when I go online and play, it gets very, very laggy, and sometimes you really lose because of that lag. So Street Fighter V is similar to Splatoon in the aspect that we're promised free content later on as the time goes by. Content in the form of battle lounges being more than 2 players, content in the form of more DLC characters that you can pay for with in-game money or real money, content such as the rest of the damn story mode, and obviously an arcade mode. Basically, all these things that pretty much should have been in the game from the start. We're supposedly getting that at some point later on. I think they said March as free DLC. I'll go ahead and get this out the way right now. Street Fighter V, the game looks great. It actually plays great, and I'm enjoying the game so far because I got the game to try to be good at it. I wanted to get into the Street Fighter scene and just play the game a little bit competitively. With that being said, that doesn't make any of this okay. Capcom clearly geared the Street Fighter V launch towards people like me, people that either wanted to play competitively or people that obviously are going to play this game competitively. They didn't launch it for the average person, and obviously the average person would definitely want these missing features, such as the arcade mode, such as like an actual full-length story mode that's more than 2 to 3 fights. They want these things. They want all of that. And I'm not gonna lie, as a Nakali main, I want all of that too, because I definitely want to see how he fits into the story. He's obviously a very central piece of this puzzle, but I digress. The point is, Capcom knew they were launching this game with like a lot of missing content. Like Splatoon had like a bit missing, but it still felt like an actual game. You could still play a single player story and all that. But Street Fighter doesn't even have that. It's basically strictly local and online multiplayer for the most part. So unless you're planning on taking this game very seriously and playing competitively, please do not get it right now. Wait for that March update when all the content is released as free DLC. Please wait for that. We can't let these companies know that it's okay to release games in this state. So please, please wait on purchasing this game until the rest of that content comes out. But then again, what would I know? I'm just some guy on the internet.